eyesight. My God, I thought you'd all gone home. I trust, I have to say, never mind. I won't be frightening, I promise. Look, this is a very strange experience for me. We do a lot of these, and we make people happy, and they make us very happy. But I'm here also, but I have relatives here. From being a little boy, New Biggin. I come here for my holidays, a coal miner's son. And there to New Biggin and Ashington, Bedlington, and then in the summer, Jackie Milburn played cricket for Newcastle in a charity game. The great Jackie, Jackie Milburn, a great footballer, England centre forward. I was a little boy and I ran on the pitch down there. Can I have your autograph? Yeah, there you are, son. Nice. Off you go now. Off you go and get your tea. Your mother will wonder where you are. And that was Jackie Milburn. And I saw the Newcastle games. But my uncle, George, was part of the Pitman Painters. He was one of them, which are so brilliant, some of the best painters in the world. And my uncle painted some of them, Uncle George. So this for me is nostalgic. It means a hell of a lot to me in many, many ways. So thanks for having me on this wonderful occasion. Of course, I'm technically brilliant, as you've noticed. So I'll start with you. I'll make a speech. Are you all right? Okay. How does this work?
Oh, it's on.
Ha ha ha! Mamma mia, Shavira! I'll be singing in a minute, so you won't escape me. So, really, I'm very moved to be here. And when I came, it was almost empty. And you filled all the place. Generous, kind, but this is where I belong. This is where I was born. And people don't know that. And all my holidays with my Uncle George and Gary Blessed, who saved many lives as a great expert in the hospitals. Sorry, I'm going on quite a bit. I want to say truly that Gordon is truly alive. I saw Flash Gordon when I was a little boy in Gothorpe, near Rotherham, and Buster Crabbe was Flash Gordon. And they were wonderful. We had Flash Gordon, we had Buck Rogers, but Flash Gordon then was marvellous. He was played by a lovely actor. He was a very, very good Flash Gordon. All black and white and dragons and clay men, and we needed it after the war. We needed cheering up. We needed. There was The Lost World and Sabu in Jungle Book, wonderful. And so they were exciting times for me, and it's gone on. I think that being here is so good and so healthy. We need space and imagination and projects. But really, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you that I'm going into space. And I believe in space. I have done not so long ago when Putin was not being a pillock, I went to Germany in Moscow, and I was trained to be an astronaut, cosmonaut. I was there for weeks, part of the Mir space program, not so long ago, and then I went down to South America and Reunion Island with NASA. And I am now at 80 years of age or older. 89 years of age. I'm a fully trained cosmonaut. I've climbed Everest. I've been to the North Pole. I've been to the magnetic North Pole. I will not be restricted. Never. Don't ever be restricted. Follow your dreams. And don't let the bastards grind you down. Another thing I want to say, don't ever make a pact with old age. No, there's no one like you. You're magic. I've been seeing you today. There's no one like you. Follow your dreams. Go for it. Don't make a pact with old age. It's not how old you are, it's how you are old. Never be old. We're a lovely nation. We've got theatres, we've got sport. From John O'Groats to Land's End, we have all kinds of wonderful activities. I will never be restricted. I am fully trained, as I said, cosmonaut. And then, Reunion Island, I trained with the Americans. And now, I'm a fully trained astronaut as well. There's no end to my talents, love. Absolute genius. I love life. We're going into space. I believe that we can save the Earth. We need to. I also want to say that Musk sending one of his second-use rockets, a powerful one, traveling at 5,600 miles and more, hit the moon the other week. And he bent it and turned its sphere. If I get him, I'll kick him in the bollocks. I've known all the astronomers, I know them all. But I mean, Musk doing that, he's tilted the moon. Now we've had enough trouble with the weather. We don't want some silly bugger from America tilting the moon. So when I see him, I'll knock the shit out of him. And don't treat human beings like that. It's insulting you. That's your birthright. What a wonderful nation. As I said, we've got opera, we've got Shakespeare, all this, that, and the other. You know, Shakespeare, I must say just one thing about it to you. Of course, I've done all these films with Kenneth Branagh. I'm very exciting, Henry V, and all the other films I've done. And in As You Like It, the film, with Ken, I played the good Duke and the bad Duke. And I had scenes with myself, which the acting world has been rather staggered that I can play the evil Duke, all in black armour, in As You Like It, and the lovely Duke who looks after the countryside. And so, Branagh, we have a father-son relationship. I said, I'm afraid of nothing. You said, you're not afraid of anything. No. And I'll come to that at the end, before you go off for your lunch. And so, I love life. I was at a big space meeting not so long ago, because I trained on the Mir space station. I've mainly trained with the Americans, but I was on the Mir space station. And there's always somebody who wants to put you down. And the man said, well, you were when, at such and such a date, you were on the Mir space station. That's right. Well, the time you're talking about, it had been vaporized in space. It had been destroyed, so you couldn't have been on it. I said, why? Aren't you clever? Why do you want to put people down? Why do you want to put down people's dreams? People are wonderful. And now you say, well, you're quite right. The Mir space station was vaporized. And yeah, thank you so much, Mr. I found you out. There's always some silly bugger, isn't there? I said, really? You found me out? Can you count to 2? Yes, of course I can. Well, count to 2. 1, 2. There you are, you see. They built 2. You silly child, they built 2. mere space stations, one for going into space and one for trading in. There's always some silly bugger wants to put you down. Look at you, look at you, look at the costumes you're wearing, look at why you're here, and so forth. Why? Because you have magic, you have gifts. We're going to make it. Mankind is going to make it with all the music and talents. I interrupted myself by saying that, of course, Shakespeare, the brain loves Shakespeare. The brain is attracted. Speaking Shakespeare is good for the brain. It feeds the brain. It refreshes the brain. It kisses and embraces. Oh, for the muse of fire! It's Shakespeare loves it. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, gentle soul, the flat, unraised spirits that dare on this unworthy platform to bring so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this wood know the very cask that did affright the air? And Agincourt, oh pardon, 'tis a crooked figure may attest in little place a million, and let us ciphers to this great account on your imaginary forces work. That's Shakespeare, and the human brain loves it. I'm going to just do you, hello sugar. I could go on more with that speech if you want. I was helping the British football team a little bit with it, my voice. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot, follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England and St. George. We'd have won the bloody World Cup had I done that. My love, I do believe we're now going out there. We belong out there into space. I've known all the scientists in England, etc. And Patrick Moore, shortly before he died, rang me up and said, Brian, can you come over and just do Lollington Downs for me by John Masefield before I die? I said yes. And I went over to his house and I sat by his bed. I remember it. I could not sleep for thinking of the sky, the unending sky, with all its million stars which turn their planets everlastingly in nothing, where the fire-haired comet runs. If I could sail that darkness, I should cross dark seas and dark stars passing, and then in the darkness see a point of gloss burn to a glow and glare and keep amassing and rage into a sun with wandering planets and drop behind. And then, as I proceed, see its last light on its last moon's granite turn to a dark that will be night indeed. Night, where I might see it single yards. It goes on and on and on. John Masefield, which I did for Patrick. We are but dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. But we are going to make it. It mustn't sound too depressing. We are going to make it. I've loved it. I love science fiction. It's wonderful to play the lead, in Flash Gordon, and then also to play one of the leads in Star Wars, when now they're reviving it in a very big way, this new Phantom Menace. And of course I'm Boss Nass. I have to tell you, in that scene where everyone, like almost as big as you, I'm way up there on the platform. I'm about 50 feet high above them. And George Lucas said, Brian, and they're all begging me to save the Earth. There's the Queen, there's Obi-Wan, there's all of them. They're all there, beggars. Help us, says the Queen. Help us, save us. Boss Nass, help us. And George Lucas said, Brian, this is a bloody dull scene. They're being very, very, very intense. And Brian, can you cheer it up? He took me quietly in a corner. So that's when I suddenly did. I suddenly said, and the Queen says, please help us. Please help us. There I am, Brian Blessed, a Yorkshire schoolboy. I'm in a big leading role in a Star Wars film. And I said, all right, George. I went quietly. Me shall like this. Maybe we can be friends. Made them roar with laughter, and George said, that's just exactly what I wanted, you mad bastard. So that's cheered him up, right? That's exactly, and of course he has cameras, he uses cameras all the time, 40 cameras, brilliant cameras. Camera, well, lovely man, loves space, believes in space, believes in people, believes in art. So you go out and do your own things. A lovely man. Just think that right at the end of the Phantom Menace, we win. I beat the dark side with my army. I'm 50 feet high on my camels at the end in the ceremony, and I come forward and get off my camel, and there's the Emperor hidden behind, and there's the Queen, and there's the Princess, all the faculties of ruling there, and pilots and everybody, and I get off my camel and walk forward, step onto the stage, and I say that immortal word which we need today. Peace! You beg, you pray to be given such a chance. Ah, God help me. I've been given a voice. God's given me a voice. And I'm grateful for that. But I have said, and you must take it in again, there is no one like you. You got to go and fulfill your own dreams. There's no one like you. Well, that's an immortal line. Gordon's alive. I've been almost pestered by it, and by different people in different continents. When I reached the North Pole, the magnetic North Pole, we were going along and checking a wonderful, powerful team, and so forth. The ice all split, and up came this Russian submarine. And out got the pilot, and we stood there. And he stepped out onto the ice, and this Russian pilot looked at me and went, "Oh, it's him. Please, say Gordon's alive." So I said, "Gordon's alive!" to this Russian submarine, and I went aboard and stayed with them. I've been climbing Kilimanjaro, and suddenly they're the Maasai, and they walk into water. Oh, it's him. Please, Mr. Blizzard, say Gordon's alive. I say, Gordon's alive! So, country after country. It's a universal word. They love. It means life for you, life for you, life for all of us. It's because it's about life. I just wanted to say a couple of words about Sam Jones. We'll be coming over in a few weeks' time. We'll be working together and entertaining together and doing magic tricks and esoteric and gorgeous, which you will love. We'll be speaking to the converted, which you are. But Sam's coming over. Now, I'll tell you why Sam is a brilliant and the only Flash Gordon. Because Sam is so pure. Look at him. Now, I love Tom Cruise and I love all those guys. I'm not bitching them. But they can turn their head in a certain way on a camera and look sinister. You know, any of you can just look a bit sinister. And Sam Jones, he can move his head anywhere and he looks pure, he looks innocent. I came into the studio one day filming Flash Gordon and he'd stopped filming. Gina Laurentiis said he won't film. And there's no side to Sam, he's sweet. He won't act, he won't do the scene, Brian. What do you mean, Sam? Because I got hand in my... What do you mean, Sam? I went over to him, Sam. Hello, Brian. Oh, hello, Brian. No, I won't do this scene. I've got to hit that guy. I've got to come up behind him, Brian, and hit him. Flash Gordon wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't come behind somebody and hit them. He's pure. Flash Gordon, quarterback, New York Jets. Live and let live. Hello, Ming. He's pure. Very pure. So I said, I know what to do. Don't worry, Dino. I went behind Sam's back a little bit, and I just went. There's the guard, and Sam's in front of him, and I just did a little, and he turned around. Then Sam can hit him. So I whistle. The guard turns around, and then Sam can hit him because he's looking at his face. That's how pure Sam is. That's why he's so right as Flash Gordon. I've gone on a bit with you, a bit not usually as serious as this, but I do quietly believe we are going to make it. It's qualified by you being here with your children and being wheeled on and so forth. And your charming faces and smiling. You make me feel good. That's why I'm here. More and more and more do I want to go into space and help us, etc. I am not afraid of anything. And not so long ago, Kenneth Branagh, we have a father-son relationship. Oh, I've been asked, he said, you're not frightened of anything, are you? No. But I've been asked, I said, I'll just hold that a second, hold it. I should tell you. And of course, I was in Blackadder. I'll come back to Ken Branagh in a minute. Always killing Turks. And back from killing Turks, I've killed them. 50,000 with my trusty little penknife. Is this wonderful Mad King. In the opening scene of Blackadder, I say to my son, there, go out there and look after yourself and be yourself. And treat your fellow man as yourself, unless he's Turkish, in which case, kill the bastard! Later on, of course, I climbed Mount Ararat in Turkey. I arrived on Mount Ararat in Anatolia, and it was run by Turks. Wonderful people, wonderful fight. I love them. I went with them. We gradually got to the top, 18,000 feet, and we got to the top. And then all the Turks, they were there to protect me from Kurdish bandits. They turned round and looked at me, and they pointed a finger and said, "Unless he's Turkish, in which case kill the bastard." Oh, right. It's a great series. It was panned, but it's great. Now I'll come to Ken Branagh. And this finalises my speech. I'm not frightened of anything. And then suddenly, Granada Television were doing their big quiz, in which people came on, pretended to be somebody, went through the mist, and became that person. And they asked me to be Pavarotti. No. And Ken Branagh said, "There you are, you see, you're scared." I said, "No, I'm not scared. But I was in Cats, the musical. And Domingo came to see us, and Carreras, and Melchior, and all of the great tenors. And I talked to them, and I said, "Who is the greatest of all the tenors?" They said, "Oh, Pavarotti. Nobody can touch him. Nobody can touch Pavarotti." And so I turned it down, and Ken said, "Well, you're scared." And I said, I'm not scared. But it's impossible. Even Domingo, Carreras, they all say, he can't compare to Pavarotti. And they offered me 50,000 quid, and I said no. They offered 100,000 quid, I said no. And in the end, they offered 370,000 quid. All for charity, 370,000 quid. Yes, I'll do it. And I got there, and you're dressed like this. And I came through the mist in my ordinary clothes, and then I was wearing something rather like this. Bulbous, black hair, black beard, all made up. I came through the mist, and I looked up there, and there was a great big film up there on the wall, and it was Pavarotti. No, it wasn't. It was me. I looked just like Pavarotti. Still there. And the audience cheered and cheered and cheered. And they said, "Well, he looks like him, but he'll never sound like him." Mana del cielo, che bello in me, oh solo mio, sta di fronte a te, oh sole mio, sta di fronte a te, sta di fronte a te, and I won.